Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on my videos. I really do appreciate your time. This video is mostly about the Midwest Fiber Fest, but I like to talk a little bit about what's happened this week. If you don't know, I was a participant in a shawl swap and a shawl share, and this is what I received from Mary over at Slow Crochet, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I like to have it out here in the living room and so I can take a look at it all the time. So we've got a whole playlist on that. I'll put my link down in the comments, in the description box below. So go check those out. We did it last year as well as this year. It was a lot of fun. So this week I also received my thank you card from Ellen. The person that I drew a name for was Ellen's Crochet, and I sent her a shawl. So she sent me a little thank you card with this beautiful little bouquet of thanks. So thank you, Ellen. I appreciate that. And then just also to share with you, my granddaughter picked up this guy. We all saw that when I made this guy, right? But his eye came off. And what happened was she had shoved it down into this truck, like he was going to drive the truck. And then in trying to yank him out of the driver's seat, his eye hooked on the window of the truck. So it popped his eye out. So I'll have to reach in there and kind of yank the other eye out or something and sew some eyes on there so that she can play with him. So the Midwest Fiber Fest, it was a lot of fun. It was really cram-packed, and we had to go and pick up our RV from Kansas City. If you've been following me a little bit, you saw that we went to Kansas City to a Comic-Con for the first time back in March, and had some engine issues with the truck, so we left the RV in storage and came home with just the truck, got the truck fixed, and then this weekend we went back to Kansas City and picked it up. Now, by the grace of God, we made it home fine. Everything, we didn't know that there was a problem brewing, but just a couple of nights ago we went to drive out to go get dinner and groceries, and the coolant system burst, and we had smoke coming out of the engine and had to pull over on the highway, and the police showed up and escorted us off of the road, and it was an event. So then we left the truck to get towed, and we had to walk about a half a mile to where we could get some dinner and have my husband's brother come pick us up. Thank you, David. So luckily that'll get fixed. They did confirm that that's all it was just a coolant pipe, tubing burst or something like that, so they can fix that. So can you imagine if we had that on the road happen to us with the RV? Oh, what a nightmare. Thank you. So, so that was, we left on Friday night, spent just overnight to Saturday, and came home Saturday. And I was going to wait to go to Midwest Fiber Fest until Sunday, because I figured I would just be too tired and, not want to go. But I did. I sat around on Saturday for just a little bit, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour after we got home. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go. So I went and jumped in the shower real quick and ran off to the Midwest Fiber Fest, and ran into Susan again and Jane from the Magic Circle Crochet Club out in up above St. Charles. I think St. Charles somewhere. Sorry, I forgot where you guys were located, but y'all had a new friend with you, Karen, this week, and or this visit, and I didn't take a picture, but I wished I had after the fact. But Karen was working on a beautiful blanket that was made up of different blocks, and she was stuck on a certain row on one of the blocks, and so asked me to sit down and read through the pattern, which I did, and helped her get that block made up. I was so excited. That bird is back. Let me go close the blinds. So yeah, y'all told me about the cardinal that was bomb diving our window, and we just keep the blinds closed and he doesn't do it anymore. But I just let the dogs out before I started my video, and I left it open about this much to remind me that the dogs were outside, and that's what he was slamming on. So I've got them closed now. Anyway, before we were so rudely interrupted, where was I? So Magic Circle, so helping Karen with her blanket, and so that was a lot of fun for me. I appreciate the opportunity. I hate that anybody was stuck on something, but the fact that I was able to read through the pattern and help out really, really made me happy. So I knew that the yarn that I was going to buy, I told myself you're limited to 3, because if I didn't put a limit on it, who knows where I'd be. And so I get there, and first of all, everybody went nuts about my bag, and it's really like nothing a big deal to me at all. It's the most simple pattern you can absolutely do. Just made up of some cotton yarn that I got on clearance. Like, it's not that big a deal, but it's what I bring with me to a Fiber Fest, or I have other bags that I bring with me as well. My K&K bag with my little bee on there. But so this event, I brought this bag because I also brought with me some finished projects of yarn that I purchased the yarn at Midwest Fiber Fest previously, and I wanted to take it back and show the makers what I did with their yarn. So the first one that I saw was Indigo Guinea Fibers, and Mary, you know about these guys. This was an absolute pleasure to crochet with. This is their Finch line, which was made with some cashmere, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Moonbeam or something, I think was the colorway, something like that. So I walked in with it and I pulled it out of my bag, and she knew what it was immediately. So I'm not 100% sure what pattern this was. If I can find my details on the patterns, I'll go ahead and list that in the description box. So she was super fun. That was fun to be able to show her. She was really appreciative of, the purchase. And then somebody who wasn't there, so in chronological order, I saw her first before I went in, and then I went into the event. And I made this recently. I showed you out of yarn from somebody who was spinning the yarn right there on the spot. She wasn't there this year. I think it was like Revolutions by Renee or something like that. She wasn't there this year, so unfortunately I wasn't able to interact with her. But then on the way out, Carole Makes was there again, and she's got yarn that is made with bunny hair. And so this was one that I bought with Angora in it, and when I pulled it out and showed it to her, she was, quite gobsmacked or whatever. Like, she really thought this was gorgeous. So I think this is the Oree pattern, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go dig that out. I did a few of those, and it's been a little while since I've done one, but and I really wanted to do a tutorial for it too, so let's put that pressure on me. And the other one from Carole Makes was this color I also just showed you recently because I did want to take it and show it to her. So it is still kind of freshly blocked and all that. So I think this one was called the Red Clover. I didn't have any of these pattern names with me here, and that's shame on me. I wish I'd have done that. So anyway, so yeah, people really loved my bag, and especially this one little girl. She must have been about 10, maybe. She was standing with Grandma, and Mom was over buying some yarn from the vendor, and she was telling me how much she really liked the bag, and she asked me if I knitted or crocheted. Like, she was interactive with me. I thought, that's way to go, girl. I wish I asked her name, but she knits, and I'm so impressed with that. I still, every time I see it, it blows my mind. I can't even, it's like reading calculus or something like that. I don't understand it. I don't see what your hands are doing. I don't read, obviously the patterns or whatever, but so that's still like, anytime I run into anybody who can knit, which I do often in this fiber industry, I'm just blown away. And that the fact that this little girl could do it, I'm embarrassed that I can't figure it out, So anyway, so what did I buy? So I started to think about who I wanted to kind of focus on. And I don't know about you, but now this is like my third Midwest Fiber Fest. And some of these vendors I have seen at other festivals as well, other Fiber Fests. And when I see the same thing that I saw like 3 years ago, like they still haven't sold that yarn, I don't know, I want to support them, but at the same time, I didn't choose to purchase it back then, and kind of nothing has changed for that item for me. So, I really don't have anything to buy from them, is kind of how I feel on some of these guys. And so other ways I feel is like I absolutely want to buy from new people because they're new to me, and the yarn is new to me, and that's exciting. And also to show them support at the Midwest Fiber Fest so that maybe they'll come back again next year. So it was a lot of fun to see and interact. Like I talked to Honey Girl Farms. Um, this yarn that I bought her from last year, she had some more of these colorways, but I couldn't remember what base I bought. So that was totally on me. I try, if I think about it before an event like this, I'll take pictures of my labels so that I know exactly what I have, because I really wish I would have bought, like I've just had these two together and I felt I didn't know what to do with them. So, you know, one of those where you're excited at the time because it was the Midwest Fiber Fest colorways. She made these specifically for the Fiber Fest. So, and they're Tolkien inspired from Middle Earth. You know, if you're a fan. So I missed an opportunity to buy a matching yarn for this, but it was really nice to talk with her. And she had a lot of business, so good for her that I couldn't talk too much with her. And so saw the Apothecary. I bought some linen-based yarn from her before. Lady Man Fiber Arts, of course, was there. I didn't buy from them, and I didn't even talk to them this year. Like since I went in the afternoon on Saturday, I felt very kind of crunched for time. I didn't want the vendors to start packing up and leaving, you know, at the end of the night kind of thing. And that's where I felt like my crunch time was. So I had to focus. I was there just to purchase some yarn. I was tired from the drive to Kansas City and back. Bumped into Susan again, and she was like pooped. She had been there for a couple of days already. So, okay, so what did I buy? Let's just jump to the yarn haul. And some of the, like I would go into a booth, look around, see what I wanted to purchase, and then keep it in mind and go on to the next. So there were a few of these that I went into their booths multiple times. So what did I land on? I finally landed on, this was my first purchase from Guinea Fiber Arts out of Pennsylvania, if you can see that. And look at this. This was the final yarn on its rack, you know, the final one of its grouping. It is a fingering weight. It's 80% superwash Falkland merino and 20% nylon. So I don't know if I've had that one before. I mentioned that the colorway is lighthearted and it was 437 yards. So she mentioned that the Falkland Islands, they don't get bugs on the Falkland Islands, so the sheep don't get dipped. I don't know if I remember hearing that before and have forgotten it, or if I never heard that before, because that's crazy. That's cool. Like, that's a thing different. So Amy's into that. There was another colorway that was similar to this. I can't remember. I think the orange was not in that one, and the blue was a little bit different, but I liked this color of the blue. Get closer in there. I like that color of the blue. Perfect. And then the orange, beauty, and that green. And then we get down to this like watermelon-y color. This one's gorgeous. I don't know what I'll make with that. That's one that might just sit up there for a little while. The second one that I purchased, I think, was this one. This lady she had some blacklight yarn, which is always super cool for me to look at, but I'm not interested in really buying. But she had a colorway that I really wish I'd have taken a picture so I can show it to you. I really, really liked it, but she didn't have the base that I wanted. So this was my second choice from her. And I just loved her band. Look at her Laughing Cat fibers. It was just funny. And this is her Makes Cat Falkland sock. So again, we have the introduction of the Falkland wool, another 80/20. And this colorway is called This Wasn't the Plan. What is OOAK? One of a kind? Is that what that's called? So yeah, that's all about me. And now the blue is a little bit deeper blue, but the St. Louis Cardinals have like an old school color combo that's like this kind of brighter blue with a red. And I've always wanted to grab that yarn. Who had that one? I think Honey Girl Farms had that one where I was looking at it last. And I never did buy it. So then to kind of come around to this one made me feel like, okay, I finally got that one. And This Wasn't the Plan. She's got a sticker on there. Is that one that says, embracing the beauty of happy accidents. So that's why it's one of a kind. You know, I don't know, like, I like that. I totally like that. So one skein wonder happening here. We'll see what that becomes. And then finally, my final purchase was, there were a ton of like mini skein groups. There were a few that looked like this. I wanted to hold this one up when I was looking at this, and it made me think about that. This was from a previous yarn crawl, I think. Gorgeous Wonderland yarns. But I told myself, I've got enough little packets like this. I don't want another one of those. Stick to full hanks. And I did not. This last booth that I finally decided to, or that I purchased, my final purchase from this event, I couldn't let this one go. I was kind of looking through, and they had lots of minis. They had a lot of minis in all fiber weights. So I don't know that I've seen bulky. I'm sure I have. But seeing minis in bulky or worsted, that was cool. But this was Gems Luxe Fibers. And this is my colorway. This is super purple, and then a purpley blue. And then you can see as it goes into the yellow, just absolutely gorgeous. This is the Zeus collection. Can you see that? So it's their fingering weight. It's 75 superwash merino and 25 nylon. It's super crinkly. I'm sorry for the noise. 92 yards each, 20 grams, so 460 yards total. But can you just? I don't know that I've bought a colorway that kind of goes like this before, so I was super excited about that. And there was one other stand that I was looking at. She had like a Christmas grouping, so I thought I was going to like settle on that to be my mini group that's different enough that I can, you know, allow myself to get it or whatever. But then I saw this one and I was kind of stuck on that. So this was my final purchase for the day. I think I did really good. They don't look anything really like each other, so that was a plus. Sometimes I end up with 3 blue hanks, you know. I gotta really be careful not to do that. So yeah, super successful purchase, you know, event. I didn't feel like stuck. Like sometimes I feel obligated. Okay, I have to buy one more skein to support the event. Something like, no. This was exactly what I set out to do. I sort of wish that I would get into the theme of the event a little bit more. They always have like a theme of the event, and this time it was like clues, like the Guinea Fiber Arts. Their yarns for the event were named for the rooms or the weapons that were used in the clue game, you know, candlesticks, pipe, like, I don't know, piano, I don't remember what they all were, but I don't get into that as much, and I thought that it kind of maybe could have been, you know, with clues. You look around for the clues, there's QR codes, you do stuff like that. I don't know. So all right guys, that was my Midwest Fiber Fest. Susan and Jane, it was really nice to see you guys again, and Karen, to meet you. Thanks for letting me have the opportunity to help you with your project. And just, I want to give a thanks, shout out to Marie. She's always sending me emails, being concerned for me and mine when we've got bad weather coming through. So we had some thunder activity the night, not thunder, tornado activity in just above Kansas City the night before. We had to go pick up our RV. So here we are at home near St. Louis, being concerned for our home, away from home in Kansas City with tornadoes, and just driving up to see that it was all in one piece and hadn't had any damage at, you know, with the location where we were at, they didn't have any tornado issues. So thankfully that happened. But then we did have some issues here. I like texted my sister, hey, showed her Ryan Holly'all's, you know, radar of the bright pinks and reds that were going to come like right over our house. And luckily the cells just sort of dissipated as it came through. We got a lot of lightning and thunder. You could hear the train off in the distance, but we never got to the point where, you know, it was that much of a concern for us. It, like I said, when it kind of got over our house, it kind of broke apart. But we did get some magnificent lightning that was off in the distance and stuff. So I'll sift through all my videos, footage of that, and see what I can put here at the end of the video to give you a little something different of the scenery pictures that I might usually share. So I thank you so much for your time. I do really appreciate any time you click on my videos, guys, for reals. All right. Have a wonderfully blessed day. I hope everybody's doing well. And please do come back and see me again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Dude, look at that right there. Is that like a tornado going up? I'm serious.